People across the world and right here in Green Country are getting ready to say goodbye to 2021 and welcome in the new year. We've talked about some popular resolutions and things this week. We've talked about getting into better shape, eating better. We've talked about getting your finances in order this week. And today we're learning how to get our mental health on track for 2022. Joining us live this morning is Lorri Perez, a mental health counselor at Family and Children's Services. Lorri, thank you so much for joining us and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, and Happy New Year to you as well.
I wanted to start off, with the heaviest topic. First of all, you wanted to just let people know if they're having certain thoughts, what to do.
Yes, so this has been such a tough 2 years, and we are seeing more people in. And so I just want to make it clear up at the top that if you or anyone you know or thoughts of suicide, to please call our crisis line where you can talk to counselors who can help you through that. And our crisis line is available 24/7 every 365 days a year. And that is COPES. And that is 918-44-4800. So I wanted to start off with that because sometimes obviously that's scary to have those thoughts, but we have people who can talk to you and mental health counselors.
And your internet connection has been cutting out a little bit. We did hear a little bit of that number, but we will have a full screen graphic later in this interview so we can make sure to get that up there for people if you are having thoughts of suicide. So I just wanted to mention that off top. Lorri, as we talk about 2020, 2021, and now 2022, over the last 2 years, have you noticed just generally more people in mental distress?
Yes, the anxiety have really gone up, and depression from being isolated. Still, we're somewhat isolated, especially with the new kind of Omicron out. And so we have noticed a high rate of anxiety, and know that for a crisis line too, they've had a growth in how many people have called. So we definitely have that.
And Lorri, talking about just generally this pandemic, it just seems like, I think to some people it can seem like it's never ending. It's like things are going to be okay. Oh, they aren't. Okay, we're changing this. Okay, we're back to square one. How does that, I don't know what better to say, just play with someone's mind and mess with someone's mind when it's kind of start, stop, start, stop?
Right. Causes an increase in stress, and I'm sure we all can kind of recognize this with ourselves, is uncertainty. And whenever things are so out of our control, and definitely would really consider almost like a natural disaster that is out of your control, that is really difficult to deal with. And so that's why whenever we start and stop and start and stop, that can feel even more stressful.
Socially reacclimating, talking about that, of course, as this pandemic goes on, some people have hunkered down more than others. Some people kind of got out there right away as soon as they could, but others have kind of stayed distant and maybe lost touch with friends or family. How do we reacclimate to people maybe we knew a lot better in 2019? Right.
And that one thing that would be great for you to try in the new year, because as humans, we need, even if we have to do it in a different way now. So even if it's texting that friend or FaceTiming that friend that you haven't talked to in a while, we have options. So we have to find a different way to cultivate those than maybe meeting for drinks, coffee, if we're not comfortable with that.
Right, and so we're showing some video. I think this is more of like a pre-pandemic New Year's Eve party. Maybe that's your New Year's Eve party isn't where you want to do, but maybe something more low-key, whatever you're comfortable with. Lorri, great advice. Finally, just some mental health tips and some mental exercises that we can do in 2022, some simple steps.
So since we are really in like 2 years basically of a pandemic, some small things really will help overall. So if you wanted to just find one thing each be grateful for, that can start to change the lens that your mind looks at the world through. One small thing that can be a great practice each day to help you with anxiety and depression, to keep you in the present, which really helps whenever we're talking certainty. That is a great tip right there, and that's actually pretty popular online about journals and even leading you through some of that. So you can also find great tips on that.
Lorri Perez.
Yes.
Sorry about that, Lorri. A little bit of a delay here, but Lorri Perez, thank you for your time, Family and Children's Services, and have a great new year.
Thank you. You too.